friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we're going to talk about how to properly prune your butterfly bushes and your hydrangeas. First, we are going to tackle butterfly bushes. It is mid-February and this is the perfect time to go ahead and prune your butterfly bushes back. Butterfly bushes bloom on new growth, which means we can give this girl a great big old haircut and we will still be guaranteed blooms this spring, summer, into fall. Now, this is Miss Molly from Proven Winners, and she is a medium-sized butterfly bush. She's not the dwarf, and she's not those huge, ginormous, big guys. And you can see where she's been pruned a little bit, and then she put on some new growth. But because we are going into spring, I'm going to go ahead and give her a pretty severe haircut. What you want to do, you could do this two ways. You can use your clippers, which is what I'm going to do, or if you're a very impatient person, or perhaps your husband is going to do it for you and he has power tools that he likes to use, then you could do it with electric trimmers. If you do it with electric trimmers, it would take like 2 seconds to do, and you would just go and then cut it back, and there you go. The clippers, the pruners, allow you to be a little bit more precise in your cuts, which is always helpful. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and we're looking at her, and we're going to take, gosh, you can easily safely do 1/3 of the size and take it back. But I'm going to go a little bit more severe. I'm going to take at least about half of her size back. So starting here, if this is my limb, I'm going to come where I have 2 little branches already coming out. I'm going to cut right above those branches. This is what gets tossed away. Now, come spring, when she starts putting on new growth, both of these will be nice, big, strong, sturdy stems. So that's what I'm going to do, and you're going to want to keep them all relatively on the same size. You don't want some that are real short and some that are real tall. You want to have the average same height on your cut, and you can see how fast this goes. Now, if you do have a ton of butterfly bushes, or you do have the big old-fashioned ginormous ones, it certainly would be faster to use some power equipment. Like I said, you could use the electric trimmers. You could even use a chainsaw. It's really not going to be harmful to your butterfly bush. But you're just going in here, and anything that you see like this limb is dead. It has absolutely no growth on it whatsoever. So I'm going to take it and cut it all the way back to its main trunk that it originates from and pull it out. Same thing for this guy. There's absolutely nothing on it, no new green foliage. Taking that guy out, taking this one all the way back. So if you see some dead stuff, go ahead and take it out. Your plant will be much appreciative on that. And you can see this is like, we're taking care of this one lickety splits. You know, it's a gorgeous day, so why not come out? Maybe you had a frustrating day, and you can come over here and whack on some bushes, but still be actually helping. So, you know, and look, bam, Miss Molly is ready for spring. It's as easy as that. Okay, now let's go do a hydrangea. All right, now let's talk about how to prune hydrangeas. The first thing you need to think about when you're pruning your hydrangeas is you really need to know what type of hydrangea it is. Beside me, I have a Limelight Hydrangea. Limelights are a type of panicle hydrangea, and they bloom on new growth. So because they bloom on new growth, I can trim them in the late winter, early spring, and I will get blooms this year. In fact, it responds better if you prune it every year. You're going to get stronger stems, you're going to get bigger flowers, they're going to be just overall a great bush hydrangea with lots of blooms. Now, if your hydrangea blooms on old growth, this is not the time of year to prune it. Those would be ones that are kind of the traditional mop heads, the smooth hydrangeas. You need to prune those immediately after they flower. That way they have plenty of time in the rest of the summer into fall to put on new growth. That's when they're going to be putting on their new bud sets for the following year. So hydrangeas that bloom on new growth, you will prune in late winter. Hydrangeas that bloom on old growth, you will prune immediately after they bloom. Now, hydrangea is very similar to how we prune a butterfly bush. You can safely prune a hydrangea back by 1/3 of its overall size. And just to show you how vigorous of a grower this Limelight is, if you will see right here, obviously we haven't done pruning this year, this cut was last year where I pruned it last year. Now, I now have 3 stems that have come off of it, and all of this was growth from this year. So look at that. What is that? Almost 3 feet of growth that happened because I pruned it last year. So what I'm gonna do, of course, got my trusty tools here. I'm gonna prune it back to almost right here. And if you can tell, right here on the trunk, on the stem, you will see there's a little nodule. You're gonna cut right above that nodule. That's what I did here. And I got 3 stems. So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna trim right there. Okay, so I'm gonna go through, again, there's a little nodule right there. I'm gonna trim right above it and toss this down. All right, here we go. We're gonna do this whole thing. So right here. Good. Now, if you notice any dead branches inside, normally it's gonna happen inside your hydrangea, you wanna go ahead and snap those off. Now, how do you know if the branch is dead? First of all, you can come in here and you can, if it breaks really easy, if it snaps, then it's probably dead. Another kind of telltale sign is if you look on the end of the branch, it will have just kind of an open, hollow look to it. So that way you know that it's dead, and that whole branch needs to be cut back until you get fresh growth. So see, I trimmed back and that's dead. See, if it were alive, it would be a nice green edge to it, but it's got a hollow point to it. So this limb is dead, so I'm gonna keep trimming back until I get new growth. Way down. All right, so I didn't see any new growth, so we just trimmed it all the way down to the ground. All right, getting back to business. Okay guys, so now it is all trimmed up. I probably have branches in my hair, but that's all right, it's part of gardening. So you can see we dramatically took a lot of height off of this Limelight. This guy will do fabulous come spring into summer. It will just be covered in tons of new growth, lots and lots of blooms. You see I left the bird nest up there. I said, hey, might as well just leave it up there for one more season and let's see what happens. But there you go. That is how you prune a hydrangea tree. Thanks so much for gardening with Creekside, and we will see you next time.